But Texas Tech, we talked about recently how the Red Raiders have a billionaire booster who has fueled this incredible portal class, $10 million portal class, 17 kids ranked either number 1 or number 3 in the country, depending on if you're looking at On3 or 24/7. That's gotten a little bit better. That situation has gotten even better now for Tech. And if you're looking for reasons to not count out the Big 12 or ACC, like basically anybody outside of the Big 10 or SEC in this new era of college athletics, look no further than Texas Tech. Look no further than Texas Tech. Cody Campbell is the guy, right? He was quoted in that big Max Olson story in ESPN about how exactly Tech did this. He is an oil, natural gas guy. Tech fans have been saying billionaire. I assume before this, he still was a billionaire before actually even selling his company, which is the big news now that people are talking about. Clearly had the money to back all of this and did it. So Cody Campbell, major Texas Tech booster, sold his oil and natural gas company Double Eagle to Diamondback Energy on Tuesday for approximately $4.08 billion. You got to say that with what is the name, like Dr. Evil? $4.08 billion in cash and stock. The founder of Texas Tech's NIL collective, the Matador Club, Campbell was the main financial source for the Red Raiders' top-ranked portal class this winter. Working with Tech head coach Joey McGuire and GM James Blanchard, Campbell helped piece together the number 1 portal class according to On3, which the price tag is $10 million. Okay, so for Tech, this is going to be good no matter what. And it could go a number of ways. I mean, obviously, genius take, John. You've got someone who just made $4 billion as a donor to your school, is highly motivated and loves the programs. Genius take by me. Yes, but my point here is we don't know exactly how good it can be. Because if we knew, for instance, that college athletics was going to stay the way that it is right now, which is wild, wild west, no revenue sharing cap, go spend as much money as you possibly can, pay for play, in essence legal, even if maybe technically in some NCAA bylaw right now it doesn't say that. It is. They've got no power to come down on you. Pay for play is legal. That would be, this would be a massive advantage for Texas Tech. So I think a lot of Big 12 fans would be sitting around looking at this like, man, I really hope they actually do have some control with this Deloitte clearinghouse that is supposed to make sure anything above the revenue sharing cap is going to be fair market value NIL deals, because that will help us stay pretty competitive with SEC and Big 10 schools in terms of what we can pay kids. If it really, the rest will have to be fair market value. It can't just be a total free for all. If you're Tech, who cares, man? We can do the total free for all thing as well as anybody. We've got a highly motivated multi-billionaire donor now. We'll be all right, dude. If it is, though, going to be fair market value, then it gets a little trickier. How much can he help in situations like that? If it's about getting somebody a fair market value deal, how much can it be, I guess, just contributing directly to the athletic department to therefore give them some extra money to help them fuel the revenue sharing number versus, pumping money into facilities, which the article did make it a point to insinuate that the facilities still did help. And if we go back to a world where money is going to be relatively even because of the cap, then things like facilities and great recruiting, just personalities, great recruiters, that will start to matter more than it does now, where people feel like the money has become the biggest deal and the biggest part of it. So anyway, that's just something to think about, like how much mileage can Texas Tech get out of this? It's going to be great for them, but it could be really, really great depending on how all this gets legislated moving forward. And that's why, I saw my guy Greg Flugar really making this point on Twitter over the last couple of days. But it's sort of silly to just write any conference or any school totally off right now when we don't know how everything's going to go down with the House settlement and enforcement of NIL. And there are a ton of variables, tons of variables as to how all this will work. So just wait and let it all play out, because there are schools like a Texas Tech, they're going to be able to have as much money as basically anybody. And now they have the momentum and credibility of, hey, we just threw together a number 1 portal class. And that's, what do we hear from SEC country about why, despite whatever happened on the field this year, where they only get 3 teams in and it clearly was a down year for the conference and they were just an ordinary conference, not above everybody else. We hear, well, yeah, but NFL talent, go look at the NFL talent and how much more is there and recruiting rankings. And, we're just pulling in, we being the SEC and Big Ten, so much more talent that, okay, well, look at what Texas Tech just did. They had the money to go get the number 1 portal class in the country. They're butting heads with Oregon, Ole Miss, Alabama, LSU, everybody like that, and they're pulling together the best class out there. That's talent. That's not, hey, look at this scrappy team with Cam Scattaboo and, a second or third tier high school quarterback and Sam Levitt transferring from Michigan State, this kind of scrappy underdog bunch with a fun, energetic coach. No, that's Texas Tech went and took the dudes from you. They got resourced up enough to take the dudes from you. So if that translates into actual winning, and if this is an era where they could do that every year freely because they've got this guy with the money, and if I had $4 billion, you can bet your what that I would be buying players for K-State left and right. Like that would become my hobby. How much money you need, Coach Tang? How much money you need, Chris Kleiman? I don't care. I'll give you $20 million a year. It doesn't matter. Worth it. Well worth it to me. Right? So, yeah, let's see how this goes. And for the rest of the Big 12, that can be a scary thing. If you're a fan of another Big 12 school, like, all right, what could happen here? Because here's for example, like this is the kind of Cody Campbell's a motivated guy, right? I forgot to mention this a second ago. After the Colorado loss for Texas Tech in November, somebody replied to a tweet of Cody Campbell's and said, buy us an O-line. And he said, I will. And then he got them the number 1 portal class in the country. Literally did it. Followed through. That's what fan dreams are made of, is having somebody like somebody like that in place with the money to go do it, who has that kind of love for the school and that kind of motivation to make it happen. Dream come true situation for Texas Tech and Texas Tech fans, and not everybody has quite this. Do they have enough at places in the SEC? I would imagine a lot of them probably so, but this at least shows that Tech can be really competitive. Free-for-all environment right now. It's not like Ole Miss, LSU, Alabama didn't want players this offseason. Can assure you they did, and Texas Tech still came through and got the number 1 class. So, here we go. Well, thank you for this, Starter 179. Technically, second company that Cody Campbell sold. The first was for $6 billion. All right, so it's like a 10 billionaire. Well, how many digits are we up to at that point? Is that like are we up to like 10-digit guy with 10 plus billion? Anyway, he's got a lot of money, folks. I don't think he's going to be hurting. So yeah, hey, congrats Texas Tech, and perhaps, congrats to the Big 12 there, if that can be something that helps the Big 12 really compete nationally. And hell, a lot's been made of K-State's basketball season right now, not trending toward making the NCAA tournament, but they did outspend almost everybody out there, and that's little old K-State, one of the smallest endowments in the conference. Teams can get motivated and find ways, even in this free-for-all environment we're in right now.